Alright. Well, this one's on a few different subjects. Of course, they all do tie in together, of course. We'll start off with my stepdad, Michael Scott Wade. When I was a little kid, I lied about my stepdad, said that he molested me, and he didn't. I just didn't like him. That being said, I like him more than my mom. I like him more than my dad. My stepdad was, my mom found out that Scott was playing a video game, and his character on the video game married another character on the video game. And although one of those characters was male and the other one was female, and although it's just a video game, the other person was a dude who had the other character. So my mom accused my stepdad of being gay and cheating on her, and she kicked him out of the house, and she busted his vehicle all to fuck, bashed in the windshield, and Scott went and lived with Jamie Curtis's grandmother, Janet Roberts. Well, until my mother realized that she couldn't pay the bills on her own because she's lazy. And so she pretended like she had a headache and Scott was the only person who could take her to the hospital. I like Scott, but he's fucking dumb as a goddamn stump. That being said, it is kind of weird having people that I went to high school with tell me about having sex with my mom. I don't really have any sort of emotions over it. It doesn't make me angry. It doesn't make me happy. It doesn't really do anything for me. But I figure Scott should know. Of course, Scott already knows my mom is not faithful. Never has been. And never will be. She just doesn't have it in her. She's one of the most selfish people I know. Now then, let's continue on. Kamy Jepsen. Now let me tell you, the Jepsens have done more for me than any other family in Chapel, Nebraska. Gary is currently in the hospital. He had surgery and he's not doing so good. So those of you who pray, go ahead and do that today. But I was speaking with Kamy, and Kamy, she says, Sean, there isn't anything my family wouldn't do for you. Well, that's not true. That's not true. And in some cases, thank goodness that's not true. I'm glad that they're not willing to kill somebody for me. I think that's a good thing. But Kamy told me that when Natalie first died, it was her and Candace Bonderon in some of these Facebook groups, and everybody was pretty well just downing on them, trashing on them, treating them like shit. And she also, there's about to be a chainsaw, I do apologize. She also decided to take it upon herself to defend Candace in the way that Candace treated me. Although Kamy wasn't there for any of it, she doesn't know what happened. But she wants to judge and pass judgment. She wants to assume that Candace is right automatically. And no, she did not let me defend myself or state my position. She said that she doesn't care. So, you'll do anything for me but listen. Do anything for me but allow me to defend myself. Now, when she was talking about the bullying in that group with her and Candace, see, I was telling her, I need people to come forward about that stuff. And Kamy said, well, I don't know enough about the situation to testify in court. Yes, you do. If you can tell me something, then you can say it in court. If you can say something to me that I am going to make decisions about, then yes, you can say it in court. The things that those people did in those groups, you can speak up about that in court. You were there for that. Instead of judging me over the situation with Candace that you were not there for, you can speak up about the things that you witnessed, the things that you endured. See, it wasn't just the slander, Kamy. It was also the fact that I was being harmed over it. And I continue to be harmed over it to this day. You will do anything for me, right? Your family would do anything for me except come forward with the truth. They would do anything for me except allow me to defend myself. Well, that means you wouldn't do anything because you won't even come forward with the truth. And that's the thing, is that I will have to endure this punishment forever until people are willing to come forward and tell the truth. Right from the start, I told people, don't tell me anything that you aren't willing to tell the police. And if the police won't listen, then I'll go public with it. If something like this happened to one of the Jepsons, and I was being harassed and threatened over it, I would speak out. I wouldn't hide like a coward. Instead of just taking one person's word over another's, I would listen to both sides. I didn't just listen to Jamie's side. I also listened to James's side. And I really truly do believe him more than I believe her. However, I made decisions, wrong decisions, because I believed Jamie. I didn't give James a chance. Not from the start. But there's a reason I didn't give James a chance. First of all, the bruising on Jamie. Second of all, the fact that I knew her for a lot of years. Honestly, I should have known better. I really should have. But hindsight is 20/20. And I did allow James to speak his piece. Now, there's a lot of things that Candace did. And there were consequences for me. Because Candace not only wanted to be dishonest, she wanted to manipulate the situation to hide her own wrongdoing. What do you mean wrongdoing? Well, she had lied to me repeatedly, which is why she was no longer a part of my life, When I was in Virginia in 2016, I got Candace out of my life. I don't need people who are going to lie to me and treat me like shit. If you're going to lie to me like that, you have no respect for me. And that's why Candace was not a part of my life. For a whole year before Natalie died, Candace was not a part of my life. And I didn't want her back in my life. I allowed her back in my life because people said, hey, Candace is sticking up for you. Candace is defending you. But then when there were consequences and she was afraid, she stabbed me in the back and had no qualms about it. No remorse. A lot of other people did fucked up shit to me. I shouldn't have had to depend on those other people. Complete strangers like kamy. I should have been able to go to the police. But what did going to the police do for me? Nothing, because no one went in with me. Raja, that's Peach's boyfriend and the father of her children, claimed that 3 people from his family went in with me. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. He claimed that on the 29th of December of 2017, the 3 people from his family went in with me. They absolutely did not. If they had, they could have defended me. They could have been there to hear the things that the police had to say and the things that I said. They could have been present for that, instead of it being the police's word versus mine. Fuck the goddamn police and fuck the goddamn Bollingers. Now, as far as Miss Peaches goes, when her and I first started having our problems, well, that was actually well before Natalie was killed. Because the night that A-Bear woke up while I was talking to Miss Peaches, trying to tell her what it was that was happening, A-Bear got up, stuck his nose where it didn't belong, and completely destroyed any chance that I had to get the help that I needed. That was less than 3 months after I left Virginia. And Miss Peaches treated me like shit, treated me the way that A-Bear did. Not listening, telling me how to think and how to feel, just like Kamy did. Without allowing me to defend myself. Without allowing me to speak up on my own behalf. Judging me without allowing me to defend myself is not help. It's wrong. And while I sat there yesterday and listened to her pass her judgment and tell me her opinions and defend somebody else who is too cowardly to tell the truth, too cowardly to come forward, someone who did everything in her power to destroy my chance of defending myself, to help to destroy my public image, which is what people are harming me over, going out of her way to make sure that she doesn't have to face the consequences of doing the things that she did. And Kamy didn't want to hear what I had to say. I wasn't worth hearing. And yes, I care very much about the Jepsons. Like I said, there's nobody, no family in Chapel, Nebraska that has done more for me than the Jepsons. But the fact is, I'm not asking any of these people to come forward about situations that they were not there for. I'm asking them to tell the truth about what they know. I'm not asking Kamy to come forward about situations she wasn't there for. It is not her place nor her right to speak about the situation with Candace at Candace's place, or the terrible things that Candace did, because Kamy was not there for them. But what was Kamy there for? What was she there for? Well, she was defending me on Facebook. I was being harmed in real life. And although Kamy cannot speak up about the harm in real life, she can speak up about the harassment on Facebook, about the things that people were doing. And it is because people like Kamy and people like Candace and many others did not come forward about the things that they endured and the things that they saw, that I got railroaded. These people who claim that they care, who did not come forward about what they knew. You're goddamn right, I'm going to speak out. I go public for a reason. It's not because I hate these people. It's because I was never allowed to defend myself. Because these people never came forward. These people thought that just because they found Natalie's killer, that it was all said and done and over! And it's not. The hell that I have had to endure, I would not have had to endure if anybody had actually cared, instead of passing judgment without looking at both sides. Instead of passing judgment, that judgment from Kamy, someone who I care about, hurts, not just emotionally. It hurts me physically. Because of her passing judgment, instead of coming forward, people were allowed to do terrible things to me. But she's not willing to listen to that. She's not willing to try to understand my side. She's not even willing to hear it. If you care about somebody, then you should care enough to hear them out. If you aren't willing to hear them out, then you don't care about them. If you aren't willing to come forward about what you know, because you assume that I'm trying to get you to talk about things that you weren't there for. You don't know me. You don't understand what it is that I'm asking you for. I'm asking you for the truth and nothing more. The truth. Come forward with the truth. If you can say it to me, you can say it in court. And that there's my issue. I don't hate these people. I hate the judgment that they passed and the fact that I was never allowed to defend myself. The fact that I was physically harmed over the things that Candace did. Physically harmed. She contributed to the violence against me by not coming forward. And by Kamy not coming forward. None of these people are understanding the fact that the term mentally ill was used to prevent me from defending myself in court, where it mattered. But these people just wanted to argue on Facebook as if Facebook is real life. As if people were assaulting me on Facebook. No, that is cowardice. How many people punched Candace in the face over what happened? How many people assaulted Kamy over what happened? Was Kamy made homeless over what happened? How about Candace? Were they assaulted by the police? Were they prevented from speaking in court? No! And neither of them will ever understand it, because neither of them has been a male who is homeless and unattractive. Neither of them know what it's like. Neither one. Both of them were fine with passing judgment. Candace was fine with lying. Lying outright. Going out of her way not to understand. When she was typing that fucked up shit to me, and I was cursing at that fucking cunt, and typing because she would not talk to me like a human being. She would just treat me like shit with her fucked up judgment. But she already knew what she was doing is wrong. She already had a plan. She had already decided she was going to do something terrible. Not just terrible, but straight up evil. And I could tell that just by reading it. That she was going to do something terrible. That she was going to go out of her way to try to justify the terrible things that she did. When I told her that I was going to turn in Officer Michael Beard for harassing her and her children, that I was going to expose that, she started typing shit like, "You were there for a whole week." I wasn't. What else did she type? That I had access to the internet for a whole week. I did not. I only had access to the internet while she was there, her and her children, while they were home. Which meant that most of the things that I needed to do, I could not. These aren't things that you want to speak about in front of children. In addition to that, by the time she got home from work, it was too late to call the places that I needed to call. It was too late to do the things that I needed to do. You goddamn right I speak up. If you are going to judge me and not allow me to defend myself, I cannot respect you. That doesn't mean that I don't love you, but I cannot respect you. What Candace did was fucked up. And when someone is lying to you, about you in texting, you can guarantee that they plan on posting that shit up for God and everyone to see, to try to cover their own wrongdoing, to try to cover their lies and their fucked up bullshit. Candace Bondurant, you are a piece of shit. So is your mother. That's the difference. I don't have a family that gives a shit. Candace does. And she takes full advantage of that. Takes full advantage of the fact that her mother will defend her even when she's wrong. Her mother will not look at both sides and does not care about the consequences for others. You goddamn right I speak out, and I will have no qualms about that. It's not just my life at stake, it's the lives of many others. But none of these people care. They don't care because it's not happening to them. It's not happening to Kamy. It's not happening to Candace. It's not happening to Lori. It's not happening to Brenda. You goddamn right I'm gonna speak out. When my name is slandered, these people want to assume that I am wrong instead of looking at the evidence. Fuck all of you. You want my respect, you have to fucking earn it back. And you haven't. You already betrayed my trust by passing judgment on me. If you want to judge me, that is fine. It is the passing of judgment that is wrong. At least I admit my wrongs.